Okay, so in this lesson, we want to learn how to graph horizontal and vertical lines. So horizontal and vertical lines. Before we do that, let's kind of review a couple of things. So in one of the lessons that we looked at, we graphed this linear equation. Notice there are two variables, an x and a y. And we graph this linear equation, and listen to my words, we always read a graph from left to right. So as I go from left to right, my graph is rising, right? So as I go from left to right, your graph is rising. Okay? Over here, notice this equation has two variables, x and y, and as I go from left to right, my graph is falling. It's falling. So for right now, we're going to use the word it's rising, and over here it falls. Okay, so as it goes left to right, I am falling. So the graph falls, and as I go from left to right here, I am rising. Okay, all right. But notice though, there are two variables, an x and a y, an x and a y. All right. Okay. Now, here's what I want to discuss now. Okay. What if I had this equation? What if you had this linear equation? And the linear equation, put this as number one, the linear equation is y equal, let's say, 4. Okay, y equal 4. I want you to notice the difference between what I just showed you and this one. So they're both linear equations. These are both linear equations. What is the difference between the two, though? What is the difference between y equal 4, this equation, and this equation? All right, well, in this equation, you see both an x and a y, correct? In this equation, all you see is a what? All you see is a y. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that and see what happens. All right. So we want to grab this linear equation. So this linear equation does not have an x variable. It has a y variable. So let's talk about this in terms of a t-table. And I want you to listen carefully as we go through this. This says y is equal to 4. Okay? When I did this one, when I grabbed this equation, this says y is going to equal to whatever x is times 2 plus 3. So y changes, see y is changing, right? Y changes whenever x changes. Okay? So to get the value of y, I'm going to multiply x by 2 and then add 3. Okay? Here, though, there's no x. So this says that y has to equal 4. This means right here, this means y will always be 4. That's what that says. This says y depends on what x is, because you're going to multiply by 2 and then you're going to add 3. That's what that says. Y varies. Y varies depending on what x is, because what x is, you're going to multiply by 2 and then add 3. This says that y will always equal 4. That's what that says. So that means that in the y column, this will always be 4. That's what that says. Okay? Y will always equal 4. Okay? So y equal 4 means y will always be 4 no matter what x is. So if x is 0, y is 4. If x is 2, y is 4. If x is negative 3, y is 4. If x is negative 4, y is 4. So these are all solutions to that equation. And you may ask, well, how can you tell if those are solutions? There are no x's in there. All right. So good question. So let's think about that. So here's my question. Is the ordered pair 0, 4 a solution to y equal 4? That's the question. All right. So remember when we did this, I'm going to go back to this equation again. These are all solutions, right? So 2, 7 is a solution, which means that if I substitute in place of x, if I substitute 2 like I did here, my y value better be 7. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay? So 2, 7 is a solution because wherever I saw the variable x, I substituted 2, right? And wherever I saw the variable y, I substituted 7. All right, so listen carefully to this. So here's my equation. Wherever I see the variable x, I substitute 0. Well, do you see the variable x? Do you see the variable x at all? The answer is no. And wherever I see the variable y, I substitute 4. So I'm going to substitute, I see a y, I'm going to substitute 4. So is 4 equal to 4? The answer is yes. So all of these are solutions. Okay? And so if I graph this line, and we do it by hand, and for time's sake, I'm going to do this quick, so it's not going to be scaled pretty well. So let me go ahead and do this. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you do this by hand, and some of you will because you don't have a printer, when you do this by hand, just make sure you do this as best you can. Scale it well. Okay? All right. So I'm going to plot the point 0, 4. So 0, 4, here's the origin. I'm going to go up 4. So here's the point 0, 4. Now I'm going to plot the point 2, 4. So 2, 4 is a solution. So I'm going to plot the point 2, 4. So here's 2, here's 4. Right? And then we'll plot the point negative 3, 4. Here's negative 3. You go to the right, to the left, negative 3, and up 4. So there's the point negative 3, 4. And what I want you to notice, if I get that ruler, what I want you to notice, and notice it is by hand, right? So if you did this using an actual grid, coordinate grid, it would align better. And so if you draw your line, notice the line. So listen carefully what we just said earlier. Here, there are 2 variables. And in this case, the line rose. The line rose. Here, there are 2 variables. In this case, the line fell. Okay? So if you have 2 variables, it's either going to fall or it's going to rise. Here, you have 1 variable. Did it fall or rise? No, it did not. It was horizontal. Okay? So here's what I want you to get from this. And we're going to do a few more examples just to show you. So here's what you're going to get from what you just learned. Y equal a number. Y equal a number will always be a horizontal line. Y equal a number will always be a horizontal line. Okay, so for example, let's look at number 2. Let's go ahead and graph y equals negative 3. Graph y equals negative 3. Well, to graph y equals negative 3, notice there's no x, right? There's no x. So if I think about this in terms of a t-table, when I think about this in terms of a t-table, what this means is that y will always equal negative 3. So down that y column, I'm going to have negative 3 all the way down, right? And there are an infinite number of those I can put, but all I need are 3 of them. And so y will always equal negative 3 no matter what x is. So if x is 0, y is negative 3. If x is 2, y is negative 3. That's a solution. If x is negative 1, y is negative 3. That's also a solution. If x is 7.6, y is negative 3. That's also a solution. All right? And so the graph y equal negative 3, you're going to plot those points. And so if you do that coordinate grid again, I'm doing it by hand just to show you what to do, okay? Because some of you don't have grid paper. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. And so let's plot the point 0, negative 3. So 0, negative 3 is right here, right? Now before I go on, y equals negative 3. Should that be a horizontal line? The answer should be yes, right? Because y equals a number will always be a horizontal line. So let's go into the next one, 2, negative 3. 2, negative 3 is right here. 2, negative 3. And then negative 1, negative 3 is right here. Okay? So negative 1, negative 3. And so now, remember, all you did was just find 3 solutions. You know that a linear equation has an infinite number of solutions. So then you're going to draw the line. And so that's the graph of y equals negative 3. Okay? All right, let's look at this one. This is going to be number 3. What if you had this, though? What if you had something that looked like number 3? So you want to graph y plus 6 equal 0. Y plus 6 equals 0. All right. So what is the difference between this, and I'm going to put this as number 3. Number 3. What is the difference between number 3 and numbers 1 and 2? In numbers 1 and 2, the y variable was already by itself. Here, it is not. But you know what to do, right? So you're going to get y by itself, so you subtract 6 from both sides. And so you get y equal negative 6. And so now it looks like the other two we just did. So you have y equal a number, so this is what kind of line? What kind of line is this? This is, or I should say the graph is a horizontal line. Horizontal line. Okay? So let's plot 3 points. So use a t-table. Use a t-table. So remember what that means. That means that y is always going to equal negative 6. Y always equals negative 6. Negative 6, negative 6, negative 6, right? And so on. Y equals negative 6 no matter what x is, right? You can put any number for x if you want to, no matter what x is. So if I plot those 3 points, let's see what we get. Oops, that's x. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went all the way to 6 because y was negative 6. And so on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 0, negative 6. I say the origin, go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 0, negative 6. 2, negative 6. Go to the right 2, down 6. Right here. So that's 2, negative 6. And then negative 2, negative 6 is what? Right here? I got to look at it carefully. That's 2, negative 6. Oops, sorry, negative 2, negative 6. And so notice those 3 points are collinear and they are horizontal. That's a horizontal line. Whenever possible, try to get printed grid paper. It makes things so much easier for you to graph. And if it doesn't look very good because you did it by hand, you're not going to get all your points. So that's why it's important, if possible, to, if you have access to a printer, if a friend of yours has access to a printer, print that grid paper that's in that Canvas lesson. All right, so that's number 3. Okay, now what about this? What if you had this? So this would be number 4. number 4. Graph x equal 3. Well, we know that y equals a number is a horizontal line, right? Y equals a number is a horizontal line. But what if it's x equal a number? Notice there's no y value. So if there were both an x and a y, it would either increase, it would either rise, or it would fall. Okay? But notice there's only one variable and it's x. This time it's x. Here is y. We know that y equals a number is a horizontal line. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. So I'm going to use a t-table again, just like I did before, x, y. And notice this time, this says x equals 3. This says, remember a while ago, y equal negative 3. This says y always equals negative 3, no matter what x is, right? Y will always be negative 3. This says x is always going to equal 3, no matter what y is this time. So along the x column, you're going to say x has to be 3 all the way down, because that's what that says. X always has equal 3, no matter what y is. Okay? No matter what y is. So these ordered pairs are solutions to this equation. These ordered pairs are solutions to this equation. So verify that. Verify that's true, just like we did earlier. So I just want you to see that that's true. So let's check 3, 2. Let's just check 3, 2 to see if that's a solution. All right, so here's my equation, x equals 3. And remember, this is x, this is y. So where we see an x, you can substitute 3. Where we see a y, you can substitute 2. But you don't see a y, right? So there's no y to substitute. But you see an x. What's x? X is 3. So is 3 equal to 3? The answer is yes. So all these are solutions to this equation. So let's go ahead and plot those, and then let's see what kind of line this is. Let's see what kind of line this is. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So plot the point 3, 0. So 3, 0, you go to the right 3. Since y is 0, you stop. So 3, 0 is on the x-axis. 3, 2, I go to the right 3 and up 2. Here we go. 3, 2. This is 3, 0 right here. And then 3, negative 4, I go to the right 3 and then down 4. What do you notice? What kind of line is x equal 3? A vertical line. Very good. It's a vertical line. Now, I did it by hand, so it doesn't look very well. So that's why it's important. I didn't scale it very well. So I'm going to cheat a little. And I'm going to put the dot here. Okay? So there's the point 3, negative 4. Okay? So I want you to learn this. X equal a number. X equal a number will always be a vertical line. X equal a number, always be a vertical line. All right, so let's do one more. So that's very simple, right? Not difficult at all. So if you have x equal a number or y equal a number, if both variables are not there, it's either going to be a horizontal or a vertical line. So there's going to be number 5. So let's go ahead and graph. X minus a half is equal to 0. X minus a half is equal to 0. Well, just like I did before, there's no y, right? No y value. So let's get x by itself. So I get x by itself. I'm going to add 1/2 to both sides. And so I get x to be 1/2. So there's my linear equation. So in terms of the t-table, what does that mean? Well, that means that x will always be 1/2. So in this column, we're going to have 1/2 all the way down, right? All the way down. And so x equal 1/2 means that x will always equal 1/2 no matter what y is. No matter what y is. So if I graph this, Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't scale it well. I should have. So 1/2 0. Now be careful. That's 1/2. It's not an integer. It's a fraction. So if this is 1 right here, then 1/2 is here, right? In the middle, between 0 and 1. So 1/2 0 is right here. There's 1/2 0. That's 1/2 0 right there. 1/2 2 is right here. There's 1/2 2, the ordered pair 1/2 2. And then 1/2 4 is right here. There's the ordered pair 1/2 4. And notice this was x equal a number, so this better be a vertical line, and it is. So now you draw your line to indicate all the solutions. And so there's your graph. It's a vertical line. Okay? All right, now I want to do one more just to show you something, just in case you see this. So number 6, let's suppose you want to graph y plus 3 equal 7. All right, don't make it difficult. There's no x value. You just see a y. So just like we did before, you want to get y by itself. So you're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So you get y equal 4. So y equal 4, what kind of line is that? Is that vertical or horizontal? Very good. It's a horizontal line. That's a horizontal line, right? Horizontal, T-A-L, H-O-R-I-Z-O-N-T-A-L. That's a horizontal line. And so what that means, again, is that y will always equal 4 no matter what x is. So if x is -1, y is 4. If x is -3, y is 4. If x is -4, y is 4. Okay? And so then you're going to if you do this by hand, be careful to just try and make this look good. If you do it by hand, that's why it's important to use grid paper. So always use grid paper if possible. It makes things so much easier for you. If you do it by hand and it doesn't look good, you're not going to get full credit. So that's why I'm doing this lesson by hand, just to emphasize that you need to be careful when you do your little tick marks. They need to be uniform. All right. Now, for some of those, I didn't do a good job either, but I'm trying to stay within the time period here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Y is 4, so I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And when I say 1, 2, 3, I should have said -1, -2, -3, right? And then -1, -2, -3 down here. Okay, so -1, 4. So -1, 4 is right here, right? -3, 4. 1, 2, here's -3, and then 4 is right here. And then -4, let me go one more, -4. So -4, +4 is right here. And so notice those points lie in the same line. But remember, those are just 3 solutions, so you want to graph all of them. So see, that's why it's important to have grid paper, because it doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look that great there. So here's your horizontal line. Okay. All right, and that's how you graph horizontal and vertical lines. So remember, horizontal and vertical lines is just one variable. Okay, there's just one variable. So that is the that was the goal of this lesson, was to graph horizontal and vertical lines. So that's the end of this lesson.